Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Rourke, you recognize 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to begin my remarks by sharing the frustration expressed so far by the committee members and also members of the panel, but also making clear that my frustration, at least, does not extend to the providers. I think about the providers at the El Paso VHA, many of whom doctors, nurse practitioners, nurses, psychologists, therapists, counselors could be working in the private sector for more money, could be working with the Department of Defense for more money, could within the VA system be working at other VHA facilities other than El Paso for more money. And they're working to serve the veterans in our community that I have the honor of representing because they want to help them, and in many cases they themselves are veterans. So I think that message is too often lost in our justified criticism of the management of VA leadership here in Washington, D.C., at VA leadership within the VISNs, and at some of the local VHAs. When I hold town hall meetings in El Paso, and I hold one every single month, and I hold a veteran-specific town hall every quarter, most of the concerns raised at those town halls are about wait times. And it flew in the face of the information, the data that I was receiving from the El Paso VHA, which showed that our wait times were on par with national levels and were very close to the targets set by the VA. And so what we decided to do was actually hire somebody to go and do what many people here have suggested, which is to actually talk to the veterans and not just listen to them at these town hall meetings, but actually conduct a scientific survey in El Paso. And we surveyed 692 veterans with an error margin of plus or minus 3.8%, and found that the variance from what the El Paso VHA was reporting for primary and mental health care times was wildly different from what our veterans were reporting. For example, in December 2013, VA reported that 70% of new El Paso VA patients saw a mental health provider in 14 days. Our survey showed that 36.5% of our respondents could not even get an appointment at all and just completely dropped out of the system. On average, a veteran's mental health care appointment, when it was set, was canceled once. 42% of our respondents completely put off getting mental health care because of the difficulty in obtaining an appointment. I don't need to draw the connection, but I will, that when we delay care, we're often denying care, and this is at a time when we're seeing, on average, 22 veterans taking their own lives every single day. So this is a life and death issue in Phoenix, but it's a life and death issue in El Paso, and it's a life and death issue, I'd argue, across the country. So as much as I would also like to get to the bottom of what happened in Phoenix and know who destroyed which records and who made what decisions, I think this is a problem that is much larger than just Phoenix, much larger than just El Paso, though we see similar problems there as well. So as the chairman has asked and others have asked, I'm asking you to look into the specific issues in El Paso. We'll provide you all the data that we collected. I'd also like you to look into allegations that we've heard in El Paso, confirmed by the OIG's report, that appointments are set for veterans who request an appointment, but the veteran is never informed that that appointment has been set. And so when the veteran does not show up for that appointment that he did not know about because no one informed him, it shows up on the veteran's record that he declined to come in or failed to show up, and does not harm the VA's record in terms of performance on wait times. We've heard that anecdotally oftentimes in El Paso. We're seeing it in the OIG report. I hope that you will look into that as part of your system-wide audit. Lastly,
Congressman, we are, and I would be happy to meet with you personally to get the information that you have, that you've obtained from the veterans. I would value looking at that.
And I think that's why Phoenix resonates throughout this country, beyond the tragedy of apparently 40 veterans losing their lives because of gross negligence within that facility. It seems to confirm what so many of us are hearing every single day in our district. So I appreciate your tenacity in pursuing the facts and reporting those back to this committee. And lastly, for Ms. Mooney, on the 29th of April, Congressman Pete Gallego and myself sent a letter to the Secretary asking specifically about the El Paso VA and whether similar practices were conducted there, and a very simple question about whether a secret wait list was maintained there. We have still not received a response to our letter. When can we expect a response?
I know the results of the nationwide audit will be forthcoming, and those results will be shared with the Congress, and we look forward to answering your response and all the members' responses about individual facilities at that time in the very near future.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Kaufman. You're recognized for